Hey there, welcome to Hobie on YouTube. Hey, check out this gorgeous Swiss Army knife style knife with buffalo horn scales. Isn't that gorgeous? Now I say Swiss Army knife style knife because it's not a Victorinox or a Wenger. It's not a Swiss knife at all, it's a German knife. It's an Ed Wusthof. And I was not really that familiar with this company. I've never owned a Wusthof pocket knife before. It's not really been on my radar, but that's because they haven't made pocket knives since the 1970s. But they still are a big provider of high-quality kitchen cutlery. They sell that in 40 different countries and currently have about 400 employees. So, yeah, it's a 200-plus-year-old German cutler, family-owned. They're now on their 7th generation of Wusthof. And they've always made all of their knives in Solingen. So that's really, really cool. Just a little background real quick. Founded by Johann Abram Wusthof in 1814 as a scissors or shears company. His son Edward kind of grew the company, gave it its name. His sons, also Edward and Robert, really propelled the company from like a cutlery shop to a cutlery factory. And they expanded the line. By 1904, there's a catalog that shows 1,125 different pocket knives over 48 pages. So, kind of a shame they no longer make pocket knives. It reminds me a little bit of Henkel's, an old line German cutler that used to make a wide variety of pocket knives, but quit in the 70s and now focuses strictly on kitchen cutlery. If you'd like to learn more about the history of Wusthof, you can go to their webpage, www.wusthof.com. But better yet, I'll put a link in the description box where you can go and see a PDF of a book they put out. I'm not sure, maybe like on their 200th anniversary or something, of the history of the company. It's actually a great piece, really detailed and fully illustrated. I think you'll enjoy that. All right, let's go through this beautiful knife, and I think it's so beautiful because of these buffalo horn scales. And this is Asian water buffalo, I believe. And it's really not a bone or an antler, but much like a rhinoceros horn, it's modified hair. And it's hard as a rock, but yeah, holds up really well. Although bugs can eat at it. A lot of times you see these old vintage horn-handled knives, and they're all nibbled up by dirty dermatids. So you got to be careful with them. Don't store them near freshly cut flowers. That's where the bugs come from. But this one's really nice. No bug nibbles, chips, cracks. Got a lot of character. All this beautiful waving and patterning. Kind of hints of chocolate and caramel. And even the backside is nice. It's different, but it's very nice. So this is a 4-layer Swiss Army knife style knife. It's got the regular, standard tool set plus saw and scissors. But this knife also comes with nickel silver pins and liners, which I think is really nice. So back tools first. Here's the European style 3-sided awl. Very pointed, not sharpened really. There are those nickel silver liners. They cleaned up so well. Now I did refurbish this knife. It was in really pretty good shape when I got it, but it did need a cleaning and a polishing. But being all stainless steel, it had held up really well through the years. Here's the corkscrew. It's 5 turns, and it's pretty beefy. Unlike a lot of other corkscrews, this one looks like it would really pop a wine cork. So we'll start on the mark side and work our way to the back. Right here, as you might expect, is the screwdriver cap lifter. Again, stainless steel, nice and beefy. This one has a marking on it, and it says rust-free, or rust-free stainless. And then across from that, little cutout here, 2 cutouts actually in the scales, very nice, is an old style can opener. And this tool has just the simple marking R. I've seen that on other German knives of this type, I have to assume it's for rust fry, stainless. And then what is next? I believe the wood saw. And this is just a great tool. It's a double cut wood saw. It's prickly sharp to the touch. I don't believe it's ever been used. It looks like it would be quite effective. There are a couple of just nice craftsmanship type of things I want to point out here. First of all, you'll notice the back here, the spine is kind of swayed. Why is that? Well, that's so it makes it easier to get the nail nick on the main blade behind it. The other thing I want to point out is the spine here is much thinner than the tooth side. So this blade tapers to the spine. Why do they do that? That's so it doesn't get stuck in the wood that you're sawing. Really great touches there. All right, so next is the main blade. And it's a spear point blade, pretty standard. I did polish and sharpen the blades. I did not sand them, however, so they still do have some light scratches in them. But they look really good and they're very sharp. This blade had a little crink in the edge, but I was able to straighten most of it and give it a good edge. It is very sharp. Got a piece of notebook paper here. See if I can do this on camera. Yeah, extremely sharp now. Stainless steel. The markings on this blade, on the mark side, we have a stamping that reads, again, Rost Fry, but here is Wustof's Trident logo. I believe they registered that in 1895. Prior to that, their logo was two crossed swords. Today, their logo is that trident in a circle. And on the back here we have Ed Wusthof, Solingen, Germany. Again, all of their knives, past and present, have always been made in Solingen, which I think is just great. Now we got to flip over to the back side because the nail nicks are on the back side, and we have the secondary pen blade, which is very pointed and narrow. I refer to this as the tracheotomy tool. With this and a Burger King straw, you're set to give tracheotomies. It's also very, very sharp. And the markings on this blade are the same as on the main blade. The trident and Rost Fry on the front. And Ed Wusthof, Solingen, Germany on the back. And then finally, that brings us to the scissors. They also have a cutout for the nail nick. Whoops, they open this way. And a very fine pair of scissors. Let me get that piece of paper again. And keep dropping it on the floor. But let me demonstrate those scissors. Very sharp and capable. Now these scissors had a broken spring that had been repaired when I received it. The original spring was obviously gone, and somebody had fashioned a little pin and put it in there. But it didn't work very well, and it broke, so I've replaced it with a Victorinox spring modified to work in this situation. And so the scissors open up really nicely, spring very well, and most importantly, the tool closes well. I say as I fumble it, but it does. With any scissors, you got to make sure you got the handle aligned when you close it. Yeah, so that's a rundown of the tools. It's just a gorgeous knife and so well built. I mean, the Germans did a fine job with these type of knives. Now, I'm not going to keep this knife. I'm going to sell it. That's why I've been showing it so carefully. I've got a lot of knives like this, as much as I love this knife. So I thought I'd pass it along. It's going to be for sale on my All About Pocket Knives shop. I've not really mentioned that on the channel before, but I'm now a seller on All About Pocket Knives. It's really my preferred platform now. I'm just kind of getting started there. It's just so much better for me as a seller, which means it's better for buyers too. So if you're interested in this knife, you might want to go take a look at it. I've got some other knives that I've featured recently on the channel there too. It's all good stuff. You might be surprised at some of the things I'm letting go. But I'm not giving things away. These are all fine knives, but the prices are reasonable. And again, this is a quality knife. It could be from the 50s, 60s, or 70s. I can't really say, but it almost looks new. Yeah. I did clean it up. I polished it and cleaned it, sharpened it. I'll do a Mighty Morphin before and after slideshow. I haven't done that in a while. And it's really not all that dramatic because the knife was in pretty good shape when it came to me. You know, being stainless steel, it hadn't gotten too bad. But I brightened it up quite a bit. You might enjoy watching that. I set it to some good country drinking music too. So Ed Wusthof, 4-layer, 8-tool, Swiss Army knife style knife in beautiful buffalo horn scales. Thanks for watching and have fun collecting.